Welcome to the I Love CVille show. My name is Jerry Miller. It is Wednesday. It is good to be with you. We are live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille network. Good show lined up for you. We're going to talk opportunity. We're going to talk entrepreneurial endeavors and gaps in the market that need to be closed and need to be, filled. This topic comes up often on the show. It's a business-focused show, a small business-focused show. And oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we see opportunity. The topic started when we were talking about the need for Charlottesville to have a dedicated food and retail and grocery delivery business. One business that is almost like a concierge that is mixing delivery with a vehicle in a concierge call, text, on-demand fashion, and you can get groceries, meals from restaurants, retail items from places like Shenanigans, Folly, the Virginia Shop, the Happy Cook, a dedicated business to providing quick day of, within an hour, within 90-minute transportation of on-demand, on-need services. That does not exist now. Not locally in Charlottesville. That does not exist. So that topic on the I Love CVille show has become a springboard because we're Americans, we're Charlottesvillians, and we see opportunity, we have hope. We're driven to better ourselves through ideas and hard work. That topic became a conversation for other opportunities in this COVID-19 landscape. Real estate is something that I'm going to point out to you. Also an opportunity in the food space and a couple of other that are coming up on the I Love CVille network. We are an advertising agency. We work with a lot of small businesses, 110 to be in fact, from New Providence, New Jersey to Asheville, North Carolina. Two of our favorites, Interstate Pest and Service Companies, a 4-generation strong family business. And Scott Wagner, Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Scott Wagner, changing people's lives through sports medicine, physical therapy, and chiropractic care. Adam Donovan-Groves on the program in 15 minutes. As I mentioned at the top of the show, he is a major player in weddings in Central Virginia. When you need a luxurious, top-of-the-line wedding that will be generational from a conversational standpoint and from a memory standpoint, Adam Donovan-Groves and Donovan-Groves Events is your call. He's going to join us on this program to talk about the wedding space. I saw it firsthand, either attending weddings in Charlottesville with my friends, my clients, their family, or a wedding myself, 2 years removed, 3 in June, which is crazy, time flies, of a wedding, and it's big-time business. So we're going to talk with Adam about the space, how it's been impacted in the future here in Charlottesville and Central Virginia for weddings and vineyards and wineries. I'm very excited about that. I want to run some headlines with you quickly. The first headline, Judah, I'd like to get to is the one from NBC 29 with the city of Stanton. And I have the headline in front of me. It's a little bit of a pause for concern. Thank you, Judah. Stanton is considering furloughs for its employees because they have a $4.2 million budget shortfall. The furloughs would be every month, one a month, beginning in July and ending in April. So beginning in July of this year and ending in April of 2021, one a month. One of the options being considered to make up $4.2 million. The reason I'm bringing this up, and Judah, the Daily Progress headline is the city of Charlottesville is expecting at least $8 million in losses from COVID-19. Tell me when that one's up, if you could. That one is up, thank you. So Charlottesville expecting $8 million. Now, Charlottesville and Stanton are very different in size and scope and depth of employee roster. Charlottesville's bigger, Stanton's smaller. But Stanton, $4.2 million. They're thinking about how to make up that $4.2 million in Stanton. Some of the options, and I'm looking at the PowerPoint presentation now. You can find this as well through the NBC 29 link. They're talking about eliminating salary increases, reduction of almost $1.7 million to schools, deferring capital improvement expenses of almost $1 million, and reductions of other line items and personnel actions that contribute to about 1.5 million. That's the 4.2, how they're going to save. Basically, they're cutting costs and they're cutting fat. Follow it in how it follows with Charlottesville. That's why this need to get the economy back going and people working is very real. And we've been, I think, at the tip of this and really prioritizing and keeping an eye on the market and the local government and the local economy and keeping the engine heading in the positive right direction, because without it, a microcosm of it, without it, is furloughs and employees in Stanton, our neighbors, people that live in Central Virginia, not getting raises, asking to be stayed home from work and not getting paid because they're staying home, and other perks that they've lost. So it's real. It's real. Chris Henry, Tony Buck, Colleen Tyler, Ray Cadell, welcome to the program. Stephanie Rhodes, hello. Ray Cadell, thank you for sharing the show. Andre Xavier, the Chief Executive Officer of CVille Hop-On Tours. And CVille Hop-On Tours could fill that gap of that delivery concierge business for food and groceries and restaurant meals and retail items locally in Charlottesville and Central Virginia, because they have the vehicles and they have the systems and personnel and visionaries atop the totem pole, and John Craig and Andre Xavier. Andre says, Adam Donovan-Groves, your guest, Jerry, is a leader in the event and wedding industry. Yes, he is. I will relay that, Andre, to Adam, who's going to join us in 11 minutes. Food trucks headline. This is the story that we were talking about. So advertising agency owner, that's me. Been doing it, as a business owner myself for 12 years in May. 12 years of doing I Love CVille and V&V brands, working with businesses. It's been awesome. I love working with businesses, large and small, because I learned something from everyone. And as you've been doing it as a business owner yourself for 12 years, and believe it or not, in the space together for 17 years, working for other people and other media companies like Monticello Media and NBC 29 and the Charlottesville Daily Progress and CBS 19, pretty much every media company locally, you get to hear opportunities cross your desk all the time. And opportunities yesterday from a CBD oil standpoint crossing my desk. Opportunities coming from a delivery standpoint for servicing businesses locally. That's a huge one waiting to happen. Restaurants don't want to be their own delivery, and Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, and DoorDash take 30% of the bill. Think about that, 15 to 30% for Uber Eats, DoorDash. There's huge opportunity for someone to say, I'm going to do this on a monthly membership standpoint, or take 10% of the bill and offer you more local service and do what a national player is trying to do, but do it locally. That's an opportunity. I'm going to sidestep that one. Food trucks on screen. I think food trucks might be a next big one. And I know Charlottesville is not a huge food truck, and give me the thumbs up. I know Charlottesville is not a huge food truck. Thank you, Judah. Judah Wickhauer is our fabulous director. I know food trucks aren't huge in Charlottesville yet. Certainly not to the magnitude of Richmond, where they're huge, and New York City, where they're huge, and Asheville, where we go for work often, where they're huge. Look, when Hunter Smith and dudes and dudettes watching this program, and this show is live on 12 Facebook pages. This show is live on Instagram. We're going to archive this on Apple Podcasts, on iTunes Podcasts, on ilovecville.com, and syndicate it for 2 weeks across the I Love CVille network, which is 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, third largest Instagram in the community, and an e-newsletter that goes out to over 130,000 inboxes every morning at 11 a.m. When people like Hunter Smith, and Hunter Smith is the only businessman I've seen in Charlottesville and Central Virginia in the last 45 days, launch a business. Can you think of one, Judah? Hunter Smith, in conjunction with Chris Henry, who is watching this program right now. Someone get Hunter Smith on the show. Hunter Smith, in conjunction with Chris Henry, who's watching right now, and Craig Hartman, are launching a new restaurant in Gordonsville called the Ice House. And I've been trying to get Hunter on the show to talk about the Ice House, but it's in conjunction with Craig Hartman, and who's huge from Barbecue Exchange, Chris Henry from Dairy Market, and Stony Point Design. They're calling it the Ice House, and it's supposed to open this fall in Gordonsville. And it's a restaurant, a brewery, and a gathering space, fried chicken, Gordonsville. It's going to be sick. I can't think of it as a Charlottesville businessman that has opened, or businessman or businesswoman that has opened a company in the last 45 days since the COVID-19 break in Charlottesville or Central Virginia. Hunter Smith has. And if Hunter Smith, who's opening a business and is killing it with Champion Brewing Company, and Champion is killing it. They did Champion Grill in Stonefield, and Hunter negotiated a ridiculous deal with management in Stonefield, and basically said to management in Stonefield, your shopping center needs local flavor. We are local. We're going to get a good deal coming in here, and we're going to credibilize your shopping center by being Champion Brewing Company and Champion Grill in your shopping center, and making it this shopping center that was going down in flames with the closure of Travinia, with the closure of Pasture. I'm just throwing restaurants. How many restaurants have closed in there? Okay? You know Stonefield's gone down big time. So Hunter Smith opens there. He's doing good deals. He bought a food truck. Literally bought a food truck. Mike Copany, who owns Martin's Grill. Mike Copany owns Martin's Grill on 29 North. It is a banging spot. Mike Copany bought a food truck. When Hunter Smith and Mike Copany are buying food trucks, these guys are people that are ahead of the market. I'm saying opportunities. Here's another opportunity for many people watching the program. I think it's a food truck. I see many on Craigslist. I see many that you could purchase online. You can even go to people that specialize this and buy them. You can get them from anywhere. I mean, one that's beat up, $15K. You can go really turnkey, $75. That's a space to watch. People are asking for ideas. I'm also getting a little tap on the shoulder over there about Dino's. And we broke this restaurant news a while ago. We should get, Chris, Dino back in the mix. But Dino's opening in Dairy Market. I think Dino's. And Hunter, I see you watching. Hunter, we'd love to get you on the show, man. We were giving you some serious props. We were basically saying you getting that food truck is genius, and you pivoting your model, and you and Mike Copany of Martin's getting a food truck, and pivoting their model is great. And how you're going and taking the food truck to neighborhoods around Central Virginia is a very smart move. And I think that's an opportunity for somebody locally if they want to try to pivot their model and stay afloat and stay alive in this COVID-19 landscape where it's going to require not just sweat equity, but ingenuity and creative thinking and innovation to survive. Literally, that is an opportunity. I think the restaurants that also own their locations are in a really good spot. I think one of the smart guys out there, and I say this all the time on this program, one of the smart guys out there is Peter Castiglione, the co-owner of Maya Restaurant. He and Christian Kelly own that restaurant, own the rental property above it, and they're people that own the restaurants, the space, are in a really good space and a really good spot right now because they're their own landlord and they can take a timeout on the restaurant making rent payments to their real estate company, which is what we do here at I Love CVille. I Love CVille and V&V Brands in the Macklin building. We're paying rent, our businesses, to another company that owns the business. Maya's, they can take a timeout right now. That's a good spot to be in. Real estate opportunities. People are chomping at the bit for real estate opportunities. And then Adam Donovan-Groves on the program, one of the key guys in weddings in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. He's up in 4 minutes. Judah, let's go through Redfields first. So I know this neighborhood well because I lived in this neighborhood for almost 7 years. I've moved from Redfields on the south side of Charlottesville to the east side of Charlottesville, and I did that on March 28th. Before I did that, I lived in this neighborhood, Redfields, for almost 7 years. It is 12 minutes from the downtown mall. It is 10 minutes from UVA Hospital. The interstate's right there. The bypass is right there. You have Wegmans. It is an effing gold mine. I watch real estate closely because I'm an active investor and spend the money I make and invested in real estate because I know Charlottesville long-term is a good spot to own real estate. Redfields, this neighborhood I lived in, so I can speak from firsthand experience. It's a hot freaking neighborhood. It's that price point where it's like $275 to like $500. Okay? It's not, starter home price point. It's the next one after starter home. $275 to $500. This is the first time in 7 years of following the market this closely that I have seen the days on market in Renfields, which is literally 2 minutes from Wegmans, like a driver or a 5-wood from Wegmans, 10 minutes from the downtown mall, 6 minutes, 8 minutes from UVA, right around the corner from the bypass and the interstate, a baller, solid, strong neighborhood. This is the first time in 7 years of following this neighborhood closely I've seen listings of this depth, and we're just flipping through 3 of them. How many were there, Judah? Were there 6 or 7? He says at least 6 or 7 that are active. Throw the Belmont listings on screen. Go and search on the MLS, and if you don't have if you don't have resource of the MLS, just do a Zillow search or go to mycaar.com. Throw the Belmont ones. You got the Belmont ones going? Dude, I cannot tell you the last time I have seen inventory in Belmont stay sticky and stagnant and have hair like it has right now. Normally, the days on the market are narrow and short. There's inventory on the market in Belmont that otherwise would not be. So here's another opportunity you can learn on the I Love CVille show, where we pride ourselves in waking up every single day, and every single freaking day with a wife and a son and a team and a staff, depending on every decision I make. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, how can I be the best version of myself? Where is the opportunity that I feel most comfortable pursuing? And if I'm pursuing this opportunity, does it match my ideals from an integrity and character standpoint, and making local a better place for my son, who's 2, who I hope stays here long term? That's my mindset. I wake up and I say, you have the delivery opportunity for someone to pursue, I pass it along to you. I wake up and say, I see Hunter Smith and Champion, and I see Mike Hopedy and Martin's getting food trucks now and taking food trucks to neighborhoods. These 2 are innovators. Maybe you guys should follow suit and spend, if you have the opportunity, 15, 20, 30, 40K in a food truck and bring the food to people, as opposed to asking the people to come to the food. Because the people coming to the food could be a long time. So maybe go to the people. And if you don't have the resources for 20, 25, 30, 40K, dudes and dudettes watching the program, you can go to your bank. If you've been in business for a little bit, you can ask for a line of credit. You don't even have to activate the line of credit. It's not going to be that hard to get a 25, 50, 30, 40, 60K line of credit, and you just keep it on the shelf. You should have this anyway. The other opportunity I'm seeing, and I'm going to reach out to Adam shortly, Judah, is real estate, and the opportunity for you is either a first-time home buyer, a second-time home buyer, somebody that's tired of renting, or someone that's interested in real estate investment like I am. There's ample opportunity to buy property right now. Real estate deals are still happening. They're happening virtually through Zoom, through FaceTime, through Skype, like we're about to do with Adam. It's a great opportunity for you to save 15% to 20% on retail. And if you can save 15 to 20% on retail, dudes, that's like how you start building generational wealth. I mean, if you can get something in Belmont, if you want to love the Belmont lifestyle, or something in Redfields, and you're saving like 50, 60, 60K, come on now. All right, I want to get to Adam. It's an abbreviated show. Are you ready to rock and roll with this? We got a lot of people itching for Adam. I'm going to give him a ring, Judah. I'll give you a heads up when he's online. Adam Donovan-Groves is big time. He is going to be on the I Love CVille show. And Adam, when we get you on here, make sure you have that camera activated for us, sir, so we can see the sharply dressed individual you are. All right, Judah, do we have, you're okay to welcome this gentleman to the program? We do. You're live, 12 Facebook pages, Instagram, and Twitter here on Adam. Talk to us. Who are you? Introduce yourself to the viewing public. You personally first.
I'm Adam Donovan-Groves. I'm a wedding planner with Donovan-Groves Events. We've been for about 6 years now.
Andre Xavier was watching this program last week, and we were talking about weddings, and Andre's watching right now, along with his wife and a lot of your colleagues. And he says, the guy you need to get on this program that knows this space, that's a market leader, is Adam. He says, if you're doing a wedding, if you're doing a wedding of magnitude, that's luxurious, that's memorable, that's generational, it's Adam Donovan-Groves. So you come with some high praise here, Adam.
I know. I hope I live up to it. Thank you, Andre. That's very kind of them.
All right, weddings. Give us the update here. You're a businessman here. Give us the update of where we stand. What's the temperature?
Temperature is we're in a holding pattern. I think is the best way to put it. We've had to move some of our weddings, our March, April, May weddings, and now our June weddings have all been moved to either later this year or next year. After that, I think July is when we pick up again. I'm really excited about our July weddings, August, September, October. We're moving forward with them until we're told we can't. We're still booking for next year. So we're excited about that. We're starting to plan some for next year. I think the biggest difference with this isn't something that we did to ourselves. This isn't like the 2008, housing issue that we had. This is something that it's a pandemic. I feel like people are hopeful, a little bit more so than when 2008 happened to the economy. So I feel like people are going to, once this is over and once they figure something out as far as drugs or whatever else they can give us to make this go away, or at least be able to handle it a little bit better, celebrate again and have fun. So what I'm seeing with our clients, a lot of hope, a lot of optimism.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's so well said. I'm also trying to share that mindset on the show. I think that's extremely important. And I think your comparison to 2008 was very beautiful, and that this is something that was unexpected, that a hole that we didn't necessarily dig ourselves. What the space is going to look like when we return, we've talked about potentially a slow metamorphosis of smaller weddings and then kind of gradually going up potentially to the bigger one, and perhaps more of an emphasis on Zoom and virtual type situations. I literally watched a wedding with a friend of mine in Brandon Lloyd over the weekend over Facebook Live, which was interesting and a beautiful experience. What do you think the space looks like as we get out of this?
I think it's going to be like once we're done and once we're able to travel again and once we're able to be around people, I think that's going to happen. I think, human nature, we're not going to want to watch people get married unless we have to watch them get married online. I think the larger weddings are still going to happen. The ones that we're booking for next year, people aren't booking for 50-person weddings. They're still in the 150 to 200 range is what they're looking at for their initial guest list. I don't think this is going to be, and hopefully I'm not being too optimistic, but I don't think this is going to be something that kills the wedding industry for Charlottesville. I think it's going to definitely, we're taking a hit right now, and that's without question that's happening. But I feel like once people are able to travel again, they're going to be traveling again. They're going to be ready to get out. We're humans. We're very social. I don't think the trend for weddings moving forward is going to be, I'm afraid to travel. Let me watch your wedding online instead. That's happening now because it has to. And some of our brides and grooms and brides are doing smaller elopements during this time. So, of course, that has to happen now. But once that's over, I think we can get back to normal much quicker than people think, especially in the wedding industry.
I love it. You have some comments coming in, and you're getting some props already, Adam. And this is coming from Cindy Schoenberg, co-owner over at Keswick Vineyards. And Cindy has this to say to you, Adam. She says, "Hello, Adam. You look fantastic. We miss you. In your opinion, if we have to adhere to this social distancing, how do you envision ceremonies and receptions? Lots of sweetheart tables? How about dancing? I have so many questions with so many unknowns that I want to ask you."
Well, I don't think it's going to. I think weddings will get postponed, or they'll become smaller elopements if we have to adhere to this going into September or October. A lot of our August, July couples have backup dates in case we have to move it, because I feel like, for when this first happened, we had a March wedding that immediately we knew, okay, this has to be postponed. And then we went into April and May. And then when they gave us that June 10th date, that's when all of June just went into postponement. I think if we continue on the social distancing, we're just going to have to postpone them. I don't think people are going to do that. They've spent way too much money to go ahead with a much smaller wedding and not really get to experience everything. They're going to say we'll elope. We're going to have a smaller wedding. We'll have a smaller dinner with just immediate family. And then after that, in a year, we're going to have a large party. So that is something that if they say, yes, we have to do the social distancing, through, I don't want to say it, don't want to put it out there, but, that much farther into the year, people are just going to postpone. They're not going to have the large weddings. they're not going to try to make that work, in my opinion, with what we've experienced with our clients.
6 different venues watching the program around Central Virginia. Adam's crushing it right now. Gary Palmer, Don Gathers, Kate Elwood, welcome to the broadcast. Hello, Suzanne Jenkins. The group, your tight-knit community of professionals, whether it's planners or florists or photographers, folks that work in lighting. I mean, Jacqueline Greiger's on board now, and she has a comment that she's going to relay to you. Just give some insight into the tight-knit community coming together, rallying together. Eric Kelly, friend of this program, friend of the association, he's doing cedar boxes. I mean, we go from photographer that is traveling around the globe doing 6-figure plus weddings to being an entrepreneur and kicking some ass and feeding his family and doing cedar garden boxes for his home and his community. I loved it. What are you seeing from the tight-knit community, Adam?
Well, the wedding industry has always been very tight-knit in Charlottesville. We watch out for each other. Wedding planners, you think there's this competition element, and there is, but it's much more, we look out for each other. It's just within the wedding planners. One of my best friends is one of the wedding planners in town. And so what we do is we kind of watch out for each other. So the first thing that you're going to see with Charlottesville is we're going to continue to book Charlottesville vendors. That's one of my, I don't bring in people unless I have to. We have the talent in this town is ridiculous and in the best way possible. When it comes to photographers, I will happily put up any of our Charlottesville photographers against anybody else, and you're going to see just how amazing they are. Same goes with band. Same goes with videographers, florists. Our florists are amazing. Our venues are spectacular. So I don't really feel like we have to pull out from DC or from New York or anywhere else. And I think that's what's going to help the wedding industry the most is we're going to keep that tight knit, just feel of, hey, we're looking out for each other. That's one of the beautiful things about Charlottesville. It is still small enough that it still feels like a small hometown. I think that's a wonderful, beautiful benefit to being in this industry at this time in this location.
Jacqueline has this to say. So Jacqueline Greiger, we give a lot of props to on this program. Smart lady. She was the caterer of our wedding. Fabulous job. She says, I agree with Adam. As someone with revenue tied to the guest count, I'd rather postpone to benefit from a larger event. I'm in agreement there. Cindy says she's curious, Adam, if a private wedding will have different guidelines than a general public event.
We have a few private weddings happening. Right now we're sticking to what the law says. We've actually reached out for one particular client that wants to do something a little bit bigger on a private at a private home. Right now we're just sticking to under 10. Anything after that, we have to remove ourselves. As a company, we can't really be involved with something that is potentially not sticking to it. I feel like we're just going to be listening to what the governor says, listening to what the nation is saying as a whole, our leaders are saying as a whole is what we can and can't do. Right now, I don't have the answers to what we can do at a private home. We're actually waiting for that. But I think the biggest thing right now is just being smart about it. I know that one of the reasons why we're removing ourselves from one of our events is because I don't want to put a caterer and their team on board. Let's say it's 10 people that are allowed. Well, that really limits things because then you, photographer, me, a musician, officiant, that quickly starts to eat up that 10 people, and that counts as that 10. So for now, we're not touching that, and we're hoping that June 10th comes and that everything hopefully clears up. One of the things that I was telling my team when this first started happening was, yes, we don't really have a lot of answers. We're just going to keep our heads down, keep working, keep planning these weddings. Tomorrow there could be a new drug. Tomorrow, an existing drug. They could figure out, hey, this actually works, and this. I know this is very optimistic of me. This could go away. So that's kind of how we're approaching this.
Olivia Branch, she says, regardless of what happens, Adam's team will be a leader and innovate and lead the charge. Olivia Branch, thank you for watching. Andre Xavier has a question for you. Andre says, Adam, do you see a higher demand for outdoor weddings for the rest of 2020 and into 2021?
Nobody's changed. Nothing's changed with that as far as all of our weddings. We have a few outdoors. All of our indoor weddings are staying indoor. Um, we don't really see that changing much.
Um, People are enjoying this, man. You're doing a great job here. You seem in really good spirits. It's tough out there as a small business owner. From one to the other, I respect it. I'm feeling the positive energy from you, Adam.
I've had my moments. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely had my what is happening to my world. But then I just take a deep breath, go for a run, and put things into perspective. This isn't I heard it. That 2008 analogy, that wasn't mine. Somebody else said this isn't something that we did to ourselves, and so that kind of helped me realize, okay, it's gonna get better. We're gonna take this bump. It's a hit. Some people, and I don't want to say, when I say it's a bump, I don't mean for that to sound disrespectful to people who this is really really affecting in a much harder way. But we are going to make it past this, and I just know that. I just feel that we are going to make it past this. And so the decisions we're making now, I feel like are really important for 6 months, 9 months down the road. I don't want to do something now that's a quick decision based out of fear. When I can think about, okay, in 3 months if this is gone, is that a decision you still would have made for that couple? Is that right for this particular couple? And then the rest of it is, I have a really, really good team. We have a lot of wonderful people in Charlottesville that we're just checking in with, friends and business associates, and my clients have been wonderful. So I'm just really thankful that, personally in Charlottesville, this hasn't hit us as hard yet, and that we're all still here to talk about it.
Well said. That was beautiful. All right, here's the toughest question I'm going to ask you here. By far the toughest question of the entire interview.
Ready.
How, in a COVID-19 situation, does a guy maintain a fantastic haircut? And it looks like he just went yesterday to the barber. I mean, you're flossing, dude. I'm struggling. As a guy who puts a lot of emphasis on his hair and me and worships Tresemme number 4, I'm envious right now. How are you doing this, Adam?
I learned how to cut.
Wow.
And I learned how to do that a long time ago. I was raised LDS. I went on a LDS mission. And so there you have a very limited amount of money. And so with some of the other missionaries, elders would cut each other's hair. And I kind of learned how to cut my own after one didn't do such a great job. So I actually cut my husband's hair a few weeks ago. It's time for another haircut. In fact, I'll probably do that today. But that's just something that's still kind of there. And the great news is nobody's around to see it. If it's
That's
really
true.
Bad.
That's
You're not looking at the back.
True.
You're not looking at the back of my head right now. So we're not going to turn around.
All right. So Adam, when Adam is not doing the best weddings in Charlottesville and Central Virginia, the memorable weddings, he's also moonlighting as a stylist. I'm very impressed. You're a Renaissance man. Thank you for joining us on the show, homie.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. You killed it. You have a good one. He's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What a Renaissance man. What a Renaissance man. I mean, the guy who plans the weddings for the stars in Charlottesville and Central Virginia is able to cut his own hair. What a skill. Adam Donovan-Groves made us smarter today. Thank you for joining us on the program. I'm following the wedding space. I'm following a handful of spaces really closely. I'm following tourism and weddings very closely. The mayor said it well. I don't often agree with our mayor on this program, and I'm very vocal about that when I do disagree. But she said on a Facebook Live that weddings and tourism and UVA were the critical aspects of our economy. So I'm very much following what's happening in the wedding space, and that's why we welcome Adam Donovan-Groves, one of the best planners out there, onto the program. I found his hope. What's up, Mag? I found his hope invigorating. Thank you for coming on the program, Adam. And I'm going to reiterate this because this obviously resonated. We're live on 12 Facebook pages, and a lot of DMs are coming in right now about this, about food trucks. And Andre Xavier just says the next trend is going to be the food truck revolution. William Cooper, who owns a food truck, is watching right now, is talking about food trucks as well. Justin Goodman leaving some comments. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the program. I think if you have an idea, or if you're a restaurant owner and you're trying to save some money and you're trying to survive this situation, get yourself a food truck. Take the food to the people, take the food to neighborhoods, stomp out and claim a neighborhood. Just be like, I'm the Redfields food truck. I'm the Forest Lakes food truck. I am the Mill Creek food truck. I am the Glenmore food truck. I am the Rivanna Village food truck, the Hollymead, and just claim the territory. Just be like, this is my territory. And find one that has a lot of homes, that has some kids in it, and go to the same spot and use your social media and get the word out and bring the food to the customer as opposed to asking the customer to come to the food. That's the next thing that's going to blow up, I think, in the short term. And some proof of performance and some examples of why that could possibly be a blow up is it's cost friendly. I'm seeing guys like Hunter Smith and Mike Copany do it, of Champion and Martin's Grill. And we see it in communities like Richmond where it's just absolutely catching fire. It's a low entry way to get your idea out there. Tomorrow's program is a banging one. Tomorrow we have Aaron Watson on the program. He's a photographer extraordinaire. Really crushes it in the photo space with weddings and events. He joins us tomorrow. Lee Elberson is going to come on Friday, the Chief Executive Officer of Claiborne Education. This is what I learned on the program. We close with what we learned. And Judah, quickly, what we learned on today's show is to continue to keep hope alive. And I saw that from Adam. And 3 opportunities from you to pursue, whether it's the food truck, the real estate piece that we offered, or the delivery opportunities for the businesses in Charlottesville, where you provide delivery services for either a restaurant, a retail location, or a grocery outlet for homes in the community. You could do all 3. Those will crush it. We'll continue to try to make you better here on the I Love CVille show. Enjoy your Wednesday. Take care.